Jesus Christ gave me a vision to write plays and dress like women. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on my thoughts on movies and stuff. Today's video is on Candyman. Listen, I know I promised something else, but this was requested by a viewer and the other thing really fell through. It's a long story. This was requested by a viewer. It makes sense, just go with it. Candyman is the sequel to the 1992 classic horror film Candyman. Gosh, just a swell of title ideas, clearly. It returns to a now gentrified neighborhood in Chicago called Cabrini Green, where the legend of the Candyman began. Also, it follows this artist dude, and he gets stung by a bee and just has a horrible day after that. Now the guys are just about ready to hook you up, so like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified about every time we upload. After that, visit our Patreon and let us hold $1. Alright, that's it. On with the show. I'ma only say this once. Candyman. Close, but no cigar. Break it down for me. Although it's visually stunning, the mythology and the script are just sorely lacking. I feel like it could have afforded to be longer as well. Yes, it's good that it took its time, but I mean, it didn't have that much time to take. It didn't fill a lot of time. But even then, there's still quite a few things worth discussing. Oh yes, like the mirroring of the titles at the beginning of the movie. Imagine seeing Metro Goldwyn reversed. That really set the mood. Nothing had happened and I was already kind of scared. And that hole in the wall with young Burke? You know, not checking to see if there's a creepy man in the hole in the wall means somebody's not doing their job. Yikes. And then Brianna's brother gets this whole thing rolling by telling the story of you know who, you know. So really it's his fault. You know, people who tell you scary stories even after you told them not to tell you, they're menaces to society. And honestly, Anthony had no business messing with that stuff. Encouraging all those people to take part in the ritual. What's wrong with him? Single-handedly released a very angry spirit of vengeance on an entire neighborhood. And for what? For rich white people to tell him that his art was special? And then he goes around exploring abandoned places when he knows he shouldn't be. Crackheads are real. And I think that's one very interesting aspect of this movie. Most of the black people knew better than to play games saying his name. But the white people? They were having a field day. Oh man, I've seen white people have more respect for Voldemort than they did. You know who I'm talking about. Those schoolgirls said his name unprovoked. Imagine. No, these white people are something else. They'll just summon a demon because they're bored. Or because of a dare. Heh, bonkers. But I don't really get how it works. I mean, I know that you have to say his name 5 times, and let's just be honest here. Since you have to say his name 5 times in the mirror, if you do that, you're just begging for death at that point. Especially since you have to say his name 5 times. Man, Pinky shows up faster than that. Jeez, yeah, I know, right? 5 times? Dude is working on African time. But I don't really understand what about this whole thing made Anthony turn into Candyman, especially considering Anthony was still alive? What, is it just because he was cursed at birth? I guess you could say it's because of Burke. Okay, fair, but then what's Burke's reason for trying to weaponize Candyman? Gentrification? But he's several years too late. It doesn't make sense. He's already lost the battle. All Burke's done is release one bad mother lover onto a neighborhood who's got a hook, and it's rated E for everybody, be they black or white. He was a product of violent racism. He can't kill people based on race. No, that just perpetuates a cycle. He killed everyone equally. True. I guess I don't see why he would start falling apart like that. The way I saw it, he just had a very bad allergic reaction to a bee sting. God, what that bee sting did to his arm, oh my God. It looked like it smelled like death. Honestly, not getting that thing checked was the real crime. His right arm looked like he stuck it in a deep fryer. His right arm looked like it didn't have the high ground. His right arm looked like a hate crime. His right arm looked like Craigslist. His right arm looked like the last season of Game of Thrones. His right arm looked like it lost to Arsenal. His right arm looked like it dated Rogue from X-Men. His right arm looked like it dated Devora from Mortal Kombat. His right arm looked like OnlyFans without adult content. His right arm looked like the After series. Okay. Okay, that's enough. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. His right arm looked like Ross and Rachel. His right arm looked like your ex. But I don't know, guys. What do you think? I'm saying his name way too much. Please don't kill me. But I don't know, guys. What do you think? Was this movie, because I'm not saying the title again, I don't care how many takes I've done, was it a horrific sequel to its original 1992 predecessor? Or does it have me scared because I'm a little big? Or did it crumble under the weight of its own expectations? Now, I will admit I was expecting more from this movie, especially since it was produced by Jordan Peele. And especially because he helped write it as well. As Guy 2 said, there was a lot going wrong with the mythology and the script, and the characters as well, they weren't very fleshed out. Some of them felt very one-dimensional. I also don't entirely understand what the killer was after, and we're going to refer to him as the killer from this point forward because I've said his name enough times already. Thank you very much. There's just certain inconsistencies and things that just don't make sense to me. For example, does he appear if you say his name and there's no mirror? Does he appear if I say his name in a different language, perhaps? If he has a 100% chance of killing anybody who does the ritual to summon him, then surely this should be something that's considered illegal or just thoroughly investigated. Listen, a 100% pass rate does not go unnoticed, and that's not even me. Go ask Light from Death Note. My confusion aside, Nia DaCosta, the director for this film, she does excellent work. Big ups to her. She created all of these stunning visuals and unsettling scenes that ran chills through my bones. What they did with how the killer interacted with the environment was very interesting. I liked how the killer could interact with the real world, but you could only see him if you saw him through a reflection. I mean, listen, just for that good idea alone, this movie gets like 1 decently sized point. But funnily enough, that's a pro that leads into another con, because although there are times where the movie felt scary, overall, the movie in itself, for me at least, was not as scary as it could have been. I wasn't necessarily pooping my pants here. And the score was brilliant. Most of the scenes that feel scary is predominantly because of that amazing score. So hats off to the composer, even though I'm not wearing one and I can't remember his name. Maybe look at the bottom of the screen. Maybe it's there if I remember to put it there. I don't know. You tell me. But it was great. It was great. Listen to the soundtrack. It will terrify you. And the cast was really something. These were some stellar performances. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II was just phenomenal, and so was Teyonah Parris. Teyonah Parris. God, I should not be messing her name up like this. Have you guys realized how pretty she is? Her skin is so dark and smooth. It's really something. I digress. And Coleman Domingo was really something. He brought a certain edge to the character of Burke that I really enjoyed, and I feel that he should have had a lot more scenes in this film because he really killed it. All in all, there's still a bit to be desired from the movie, but it's got something to say, and what it has to say is very important and poignant, and it doesn't say it very well. It deserves a little bit of credit for trying, and it did a good job. It didn't do a great job, but it did a good job. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 84%. Not bad. Audience score was also surprisingly high, based off other sources that I was checking on the internet. And IMDb gave it a square on the nose 6 out of 10, which is okay. That's actually like pretty average. As I said, the film could have used some tweaks, but I did still enjoy myself. I had a good time, so I'm gonna give it a pretty decent 3.6 out of 5. But that's all from me, folks. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. After that, visit our Patreon and let us hold $1. And a special thank you goes to our Patreon bros. You can see their names on the screen right now. Thank you so much for believing in our content. It really means the world to us. I don't know what the next video is going to be on. This week's video was supposed to be on something far more lighthearted, but as I said, things fell through, so thankfully I had this recommendation to go with. But next week does begin the start of Spooky Thoughts to celebrate the scary month of October. So please, guys, please go into the comments and just let me know. Let me know what horror movies you'd like to see my thoughts on. Just shoot. It could be good, it could be bad. I want it all. Just give me all the recommendations, everything that you think I should see, everything that you think I shouldn't see. Write it down in the comments below and we'll draw them out of a hat, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. So far no one hasn't said anything. It's the only reason why I'm saying this for this long. Make a suggestion, please. Speaking to like 5 people who watch the videos here. Otherwise, I'll see you next week, Thursday, for another video on my thoughts on movies or series and stuff. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.